Hi folks, welcome back. I say welcome back because if you're watching this, you've probably watched one of my previous videos because I don't think this is going to be a first time viewing for anybody. But the point is that I've been relatively busy lately, so I continue collecting, but I've just been stockpiling purchases, stockpiling orders. So I've got so many of them that I figured that it's probably a good time to actually try and open some of these. So I'm hoping that I can entertain and maybe educate or inform or entertain some dear viewers out there by sharing what I've been collecting. Now, I'm going to start with this order, which, as you can see, I have opened before, but hopefully you'll still find some of this stuff interesting. This is one of many orders that has come from Surigaya. So what happens to me in here, this is one of the Dark Souls trading figures. I don't know very much at all about the Dark Souls video game, but I do know that the Guinevere figure is just really cute. It's kind of like a super deformed, sexy woman with big cleavage. So I thought the figure was cute, so I picked up this figure. This is a Dirty Pair Flash telephone card. Typically, I don't collect very many Dirty Pair telephone cards because they're a little more expensive than I think they're worth. But this one was fairly affordable, so picked that up. I saw a report online that this print manga is the first comic appearance of Elden Ring. Apparently, this is something of a big thing, and I guess there's some suspicion it might get an anime adaptation. This book was pretty cheap, so I figured, why not? So I'll pick up a copy. I think one copy, maybe there might be another one somewhere. I honestly don't remember all of this stuff that I've purchased lately. This is, I believe this is the Hoshi no Nagai wo Dojin anime. I believe this is Hoshi no Nagai o Cold Body Warm Heart. It's a 2-disc DVD. I don't recall if this has English subtitles, but the point is that this was only like $3 or $4. So it was so cheap, I decided, well, why? There really isn't a reason for me not to buy it. So I picked this up. This is I believe this is an all ages friendly Onechanbara Dojinshi. I don't deliberately try to collect Onechanbara stuff or Onechanbara Dojinshi, but I do pick up them occasionally when I can. So I saw this one was available, so I did pick this up. This is a Anime V illustration book for the Zillion White Knights OVA. I bought one of these books back in probably the very, very early 1990s, if not the very, when did Zillion, I want to say Zillion premiered at the very tail end of the 80s. So, yeah, okay, the date on this book is 1988. So I want to say I probably bought a copy of this book back in like 1989 or 1990, but the copy of the book that I bought is an error copy, so the interior is upside down compared to the cover. The cover was glued on backwards. So I've spent years trying to track down another copy that is in proper reading order. So I finally came across this copy that was really cheap, so I picked this copy up. And I haven't opened it, but I'm assuming that this one is probably bound properly. This is not the earliest Kenichi Solo ga Doujinshi. This is one of his earlier doujinshi. This is the Mecha Ope book doujinshi. I believe this is a collection of his chapters from the Vitol doujinshi. But I believe this is actually, I think I actually have two copies of this. I think there was a copy of this on eBay for like $400 or $450 or something absurd like that. So I decided that I would just pick up one or two of these since I had the opportunity. This is a large Ghost in the Shell standalone complex 2045 postcard book. The pages are thick cardstock, so these are essentially very large tear out postcards. But this book, it has an 1,800 yen cover price. I think I paid like $5 for it. So I thought, well, you know, it's nice looking, it's cheap, I'll pick that up. I picked up this particular Pokemon doujinshi just because I thought the cover was really super neat. I really think this cover is really cute. This issue of Shonen Jump from, what is this, 2022. This 2022 issue of Shonen Jump, I'm sure some of you can tell, is the first appearance of Akane Banashi. I think this is like my third or fourth copy of this issue. I was getting these for under $20. I think I paid somewhere around $20 for this one. Now they're up in the $30, $40 range. But the first season of the TV show has ended. It is going to get a second season. I don't know how popular Akane Banashi really is or how popular it's going to be, but I'm hoping that maybe this will turn into the next Chihaya Furu, and I'll be really, really grateful and really pleased that I bought multiple copies of the first appearance when I was able to get them cheap. I also, this is the 2000, this is a 2019 Shonen Jump. This is the first appearance of Mission Yozakura family, which I believe last season had the end of its second TV series season. I think I have multiple copies of this also. I don't remember how many copies of this I have, because I was picking up these at like $4, maybe $5 a copy. It was cheap enough that there was really no reason for me not to just buy a couple of them. So that's what's in this order. Let's move along to the next. And let's see about using, an actual box cutter. I'm pretty sure that some of these boxes contain stuff that hopefully you viewers will find interesting. However, I am aware that some of these boxes contain stuff that you might not find as interesting, and if I am not keeping you informed or entertained, I apologize. But, and this is one of those cases in which you may find this stuff less interesting, and if so, my apologies. But hopefully there's enough here to offset. Let's see. This this is I believe this is a magazine for Roku, as in a magazine freebie. This is a Ebitan pillow cover. I did not know that it was going to come in its original packaging, so in this case, I might decide not to open it because I'm kind of obsessive that way. But I did buy this intending to actually put it on a pillow and sleep on it. But I picked this up also because from Suriga, this was really cheap. This was like $4 or $5. I think this is I don't remember if this is a doujinshi shikijiki or if this is a magazine for Roku shikijiki. But this is a pencil board. Oh, no. Right. This is a magazine freebie. This is a magazine insert. But I thought it was just a cute looking pencil board. It was fairly cheap. I'm sure because it's a pencil board, it contributed to the tariff fees that I had to pay. But if you have not ordered anything internationally, nowadays you should probably know that nowadays the Trump import taxes are so arbitrary that I really honestly think the importing companies just levy tariffs on whatever the hell they want to. But I do know that plastic pencil boards do get tariffed. So I'm willing to pay the 30 cents or 50 cents that tariff fee that one of these costs. This is the Japanese late 1970s Japanese Superman issue 1. This is 1978. I know that in one of these orders somewhere there's a whole bunch of these. This is Timothy Lim's American Common America comic book. This is the first Japanese language edition. This is my second copy of this book. I simply think it's really, really neat that Tim Lim created a American superheroine based on Japanese heroes, and then that comic got reverse imported back to Japan. So I just think this is neat, and the book is relatively affordable if you can get it used like this copy is. So this is my second copy. I'm still looking for a volume 2. I believe this is my second. Actually, this might be my third copy of the Shonen Jump with the first appearance of Kill Owl. Kill Owl, or Kill Blue, had its first TV series end, I think it was last season. I don't know if it's getting another season or not, but this issue was like $7 or $8, something like that. It was relatively cheap, so I've picked up a couple of these so far. All right, moving on. As you can tell, this is yet another Suriga order. Let's see what was in this one. It's been relatively long enough that I have forgotten what was in a bunch of these orders. So let's see. This is all right. I know what this is. This is what was it? What's the name of the artist? Now the artist name has slipped my mind. It's really simple. The artist that created Moetan, who drew Moetan. It's a one-word name. Pop. If I'm right, the artist is named Pop. Pop was part of the Sanrio Hello Kitty anniversary commemoration, And Pop drew a Hello Kitty girl, which you might be able to see here on the left. This is a bed sheet of Pop's Hello Kitty girl. I don't know whether I will bust this out and actually use it as a bed sheet or not. This was a little bit more expensive. This was like $25 US or something like that, which is relatively cheap for typical Japanese fabrics. And I know that I did get import Trump taxed on this, but I do have the PVC figure of this girl, so that's partially why I wanted the bed sheet also. Who is this? Barkhorn. It's been a while since I watched Strike Witches, so I've forgotten some of the characters' names. This is the Gertrude Barkhorn Nendoroid figure. I'm sure, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're familiar with Nendoroid figures. But as you can see, she's in the box. The price of the box is only 1,300 yen, so this was, what, like $10? Like $9? Something like that. It was just so cheap that I couldn't resist buying this. I already have the Lucchini Nendoroid figure, so I figured I would get another of the Strike Witches while I was at it. I do not remember if I have this Galforce Shikijiki. My Shikijiki collection is difficult to access. I've got so much stuff piled up that it's difficult for me to get to it and check. So rather than checking to see whether or not I already had this one, when it came up for about $8, I just decided I'll buy it. If it's a duplicate, then so be it. I know that I did not have this double-sided Shikijiki. One side is Yawara, the other side City Hunter 3. I know this was a TV network promotional Shikijiki. I think this one was somewhere around, like $8 or $10 or something like that. But I have City Hunter Shikijiki, but I don't think I've ever seen a Yawara one before. So I decided I would pick this up. This is my second copy of the 10 Metal Galforce Creations Seiji illustration collection book. I have a copy of this that I've had for 25 years. But this book was really, it was under $10. However, the past 2 times that Suriga has had it in stock, it sold before I could buy it. So this time when they got one in stock, I decided I'm going to pick this one up as a duplicate just for the hell of it. Let's see. Oh, one more thing. Oh. Is this what I think it is? I think this might be a Eurocamp Swiss Army knife. Is that what this is? Oh, it is. Well, honestly, I forgot that I bought this. Neat. Hopefully this is distinguishable. This is a Eurocamp Swiss Army knife. I do have a small collection of anime-related Victorinox knives. I have one from Utawareru Mono. I have one from crap, I can't remember. Hakume to Mikochi is the one about the little Smurf-sized girls. Then there's Hachin and what's the other lady's name? Michiko and Hachin, I imagine you know what I'm talking about. I have a promotional Swiss Army knife from that particular show. I know that somewhere in all of these orders there is a Symphogear Swiss Army knife. I had completely forgotten that I also picked up a Eurocamp Swiss Army knife. So I'm really, really thrilled to have gotten this. Now I know that these were not super cheap. Under $100. I know that this was under $100, but I don't remember what I paid for this one. I know for the Symphogear one, I paid somewhere around $70. So I'm guessing that I probably paid somewhere around that range for this one as well. So let's see what's in this box. I gotta say, I am really giddy. I'm really giddy. I'm really happy that I have a Eurocamp Swiss Army knife, Victorinox knife. Totally forgot I bought that. Alright, you remember I mentioned the creator of Moetan? Well, here is a Moetan Dojinshi by Pop. This is the first, I don't know if it's the only, but at least this is the first Japanese tankobon of Japanese translated Silver Age Miss Marvel comics. I bought this because, as I mentioned, sometimes I go to local comic shows or conventions. So I picked this up figuring I might be able to sell this to some local Marvel comic collector. Did I pick up 2 of these? Alright, for one thing, alright, so there's 2, there's 2 issues here of Comic Noisy magazine. If I am correct, if I remember correctly, this is the first issue of Comic Noisy magazine. I think I bought this one because it was available, because it was the first issue. If I am correct, this is the first appearance of the Tony Takazaki AD Police manga, which I think is kind of neat. This issue, I think I bought this issue just because it was available. It does show Riding Bean down there. I believe somewhere in my orders there should be another issue that is the first appearance of Riding Bean. I believe this is not the first appearance issue. I am happy to have picked this up. This, you could say that this is a Claymore omnibus. I forgot what the Japanese term for this is, but if I am not mistaken, the early Claymore manga was republished in 3 magazine digest collections that were sold at convenience stores. I believe these were not distributed at conventional manga bookstores. These were not distributed at typical bookstores. I believe these were only distributed at Japanese convenience stores. Now, there are 3 of these, and they do not cover the entire Claymore story, because I believe you probably need 10 or 12 of these to cover the entire story. But I do think they are neat, and I believe this is number 1. I also own number 3, so I still need the second volume of this. All of that stuff came from Surga. I've noticed that Mercari Japan is now dealing directly to U.S. customers, so you no longer have to use a proxy buying company. You can actually, Mercari Japan actually handles the proxy buying itself, so you only have to make one payment. So I tried making some initial purchases with Mercari. That has been a little bit of an adventure, but some of this stuff did come from Mercari. The first order that came to me came in a large box. However, it got dropped off in my front yard and got rained on because the driver did not literally walk 2 extra feet to open my front screen door and put the box on my porch. So, because the exterior box was damp and falling apart, I took out all the interior contents, which were all individually packaged. So this stuff came from Mercari. So I don't exactly remember what all of these items are, so let's find out. Okay, this... I remember buying a Japanese fan, but I do not remember what this fan was. So let's see. Ah, that's what it was. Nyanpasu. Hikise Nyannan Biori Renge Nyanpasu Japanese folding fan. And Mercari threw in a Mercari. Oh, I guess they have their own trading card game. I guess if you buy enough stuff from them, you can make up a whole deck of cards, I suppose. Alright, next item that came from Mercari Japan. What was this? Ah, alright. There's another trading card. Or another CCG card. Actually, all right. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. This particular issue of Gardening magazine, this is what, it's October, I don't remember what year. This particular issue of Gardening magazine is the first appearance of Totsukuni no Shoujo, a girl from the other side. Actually, where's my volume 1 at? Well, I don't know, that's Dungeon God. Alright. Sorry. This magazine is the first appearance of Totsukuni no Shoujo, Girl from the Other Side. As you can see, the magazine comes with a Furoku pair of Mahotsukai no Yome charms. I forgot that I had 2 copies of this magazine with the charms, but I know for certain that I have a 3rd copy of this magazine that is missing the charms. So I found that I could get the charms by themselves. I couldn't find the magazine, but I did find the charms. So now I've got 3 copies of the magazine with their Furoku. Alright. Okay. I don't know the... Alright, this is going to be a little challenging to get into, so forgive me. If I bring this up close enough, maybe you can get a vague sense of what this is. This is the first appearance of Yanni Neko. Now, if you're watching current anime, you may be aware of the show Chainsmoker Cat. This is the first appearance. Now, this is Young Magazine. I want to say 2023. I think this is Young Magazine issue 12 from 2023. Now, you will see people listing issue 18 as the first appearance. Well, no, I should correct myself. You will see people listing Young Magazine issue 18 as the first Yanni Neko. Now, as far as I can tell, issue 12 contains a pilot chapter, and then 6 issues later, the regular ongoing series began. So when you see issue 18 listed as the first chapter, I believe that is correct. That is the first ongoing chapter. But 6 issues earlier, in issue 12, there is a one-shot manga story. So as far as I'm aware, issue 12, this issue, is the true first appearance of Chainsmoker Cat, the manga. This is my second copy of the first issue of Gamma. If I recall correctly, this is my second copy of the first issue of the comic. Yeah, this is my second copy of the first issue of Comic Gamma magazine. This is the first appearance of Yuzo Takaga's Blue Seed. I know that nowadays I don't think anybody remembers or really cares about Blue Seed, but this was really cheap. It was like $8 or something like that, or $9, and I was already buying stuff from Mercari anyway, so I just threw this into the order. This is, yet, as you can tell, another box from one of the Mercari Japan purchases. Let's see what this was. It's just packing. Yet another. We're gonna end up with a whole deck of these cards, apparently. All right. If I am not mistaken, this. Let's see, what year is this one? Does this have the 2010? 2010 Shonen Jump Volume 23. This, if I am not mistaken, is the first appearance of Ghost Girl Perona in One Piece. Now, if you look online, as I did, you will find references to the first appearance of Perona. Those references are wrong. Let me repeat that. If you look at, for example, the One Piece wiki listing that lists the first appearance of Perona, it's wrong. Because I bought that issue, and I flipped through it with a magnifying glass and could not find Perona anywhere in it. So, assuming that I'm right, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, this issue actually is the true, proper, actual first appearance of Perona in one piece. And this order was a Mercari purchase from Suriga. Suriga is selling on Mercari. So, let's see, what was it? Okay. All right, I'm going to say what the hell. The reason I'm going to say what the hell is because the version that I ordered had a tan orange, very faint light orangish cover. This is clearly not tan/orange. Now, I'm assuming that this is still a legit vintage edition. It's just not the edition that I anticipated. But my somewhat close friend, Chris Zasada from Ohio, who was one of the founders of Glass City Con, surprised me 10 years ago, 10 or more years ago, by showing me that he had acquired a copy of this Daikon 3 and Daikon 4 opening SETI art collection book. And I have been jealous now for 10 years that he acquired this somehow. So I've been looking for a copy of this book now for 10 or more years. And so now I finally found a copy available. Now this was not cheap. I think I paid somewhere around $80 for this. But after looking for it for 10 years, I don't mind paying $75, $80 for it. I just do kind of wish it was the cover edition that I was expecting, but I'm still just happy to have it regardless. So at this point, in order not to bore you too much, I think I'm going to stop this video here. But don't worry if this entertains you at all. There are plenty more orders for me to open, so check back. I will have another unboxing video very, very soon. Thanks for watching.